Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Three People on a Couch. Today we're joined with a very special guest, Tyler Neale. He is a real estate agent in the illustrious Los Angeles area. Tyler, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thank you very much. So you're adding music?
I love this. I love that, like behind the camera. Before we started recording, you were like, wait, so you're not going to play any music?
I would love some intro
He's
music.
Like, there's no smoke, no pyrotechnics. Low budget, Tyler. Welcome.
Yes.
I'm sorry about that. We're going to, next time. Next time you come on, we'll have some
I'll
music.
put the music in and it'll hit. Trust me.
Okay.
It'll turn into something completely different with the music.
It's going to be good.
So you recently started your venture into real estate and now you're killing it. So...
Bye.
Thank you.
That's it.
You seriously. Thanks for coming on.
Yeah, thank you. That was today's episode. No, but I'm so excited about having you here because 1, you're amazing. 2, you're a friend.
Yes.
3, you're amazing.
Oh, wow.
And it's happened so much
That's a great
since I saw you last.
Yeah.
So what have you been up to? Tell us.
Oh my gosh, so much has happened. Really, I've done some life stuff has happened, but a lot of it's been work building my business, and that's kind of boring, but it's like me hunkering down in a moment of my life where you just do that, you just zero in and everything else becomes like periphery. So that's kind of where it's been for the last couple years since I saw you. Certainly that was the beginning of it
So what's that path like from when you get your real estate license to like when you're closing on your first house? Is it all ups and downs? Is it smooth sailing?
It's scary. From you take the test, and then pretty soon after that, there's a moment of, oh shit, what have I done? Because I left a previous career, I turned down a job, I blah 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 blah. And I'm doing this, taking a leap of faith. It was scary. I mean, when I moved into that apartment, we were roommates. That was.
And now
by the way, everyone on this couch has lived in the same apartment at different times.
Yes. And it was
true. And if Brian was here,
and it was the same apartment where we started this podcast.
It was the same apartment where you can go back in episodes and probably see me walking by in the background with my boxers or whatever.
It's true.
But Brian, Brian, I think Brian, you and me were all in that room at one. You too.
We've
did a coffee thing
there,
in that room that I regret you telling me about. I don't know if it's
a coffee enema.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
What's that?
I was dating a guy who did a lot of coffee enemas, which is
coffee and what?
You basically you ingest coffee, but through your rectum. So there's a tube that goes.
He told this to me that they would do coffee enemas in
you're in your bathroom. Which was my bathroom.
What?
I didn't even
Why
know
did you do that?
Usually you're supposed to do them separately, but you can do couples versions when you pass the coffee back and forth. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
Oh my God.
I'm kidding about that.
That's what I pictured.
No.
When you told me this, I was looking for things on the wall. Like, oh my God, is that from the coffee enema?
Like Dexter, you're like analyzing the splatter.
Yes.
I've never heard about that. Why do people do that?
Because he was chronically constipated, so it helped him.
Oh.
And I tried it just because I was like, well, I'll give it a shot. I mean, I can either drink it out of a cup, I can drink it out of my ass. So I'll just try it different. I can try it differently today, and I did, and it was. It's not fun. It's exactly what you think it would be like, having to that goes in you, and then a few minutes later you pass it outward.
Okay.
So you can imagine what that's like.
It goes into your bloodstream.
It goes into your bloodstream, so you get like a rush from it, but also you're pushing it back out into the toilet. So it basically feels like a form of diarrhea, like very liquid.
But just like white coffee though.
Because it's a stimulant and a diuretic. It like clears out your colon. It's what colonic.
Yeah.
What they do with water. Well, you do this for coffee.
Yeah, but I'm like, why don't you just use water? Why do you have to add the spicy coffee? It's just like, I don't know.
I don't know, but I actually was.
Did you do like different coffee?
Well,
because coffee's diuretic. I mean, it's.
Did you
it's
do like chai latte?
Well,
today?
yeah, I actually did training to be a coffee enema barista. So now when I make people's coffees at Starbucks, they bend over and I'm like, "What do you want? Grande, venti?
Oh God!
Want some olive oil in there?"
Oh,
But yeah,
God.
we I only did it once. He was doing it almost every single day, and he said he wouldn't do it. And I'd come home from work, and he's bottoming for the French press. I'm like, "What's going on? What's going on here?"
Oh my God! But anyway, that was Jessica Apartments.
Yes.
I don't know if we're even allowed to say. No, we're allowed to.
But
say
yeah,
that.
we all lived in the same apartment.
Yeah, and
Great
now
complex.
we
It
do
is.
not. And you bought a house.
I bought a house.
Congratulations!
Thank you.
That's
Thank you.
huge. That's huge. That means that you're very rich.
Oh, well, in LA.
I know how much is
In
left on the
LA.
mortgage. I looked at it. This kid's got money.
And I
In
saw your new
LA,
car. It's fun when it goes good for.
Wait, did you really look it up?
Yeah, I looked up not the mortgage, just the address, because you sent me the
Oh,
address. I was
okay.
like, I just want to see the house, and then like
Because you can look up the mortgage. I would think.
I did. I saw the amount that it sold for, and then it said like
okay.
estimated payment or whatever. I wasn't looking for that though.
Okay.
I wasn't
No,
looking,
like,
but it
how
was
rich
right
is
there.
I have a friend who actually does do that, where he's like, "How much did your mom sell her house for?" I'm like, "Go look it up, you Zillow creep." Like I don't care. But some people are like that. How much your house cost?
When did you buy it?
March of this year, and I always use it as a reference point, my experience anyway, because a lot of buyers are really worried and concerned about the market right now and trepidatious about getting into the market. It's actually a good time in many ways. There are good opportunities out there, and I feel like I'm kind of living proof of that. So it's nice to be able to kind of believe in what you're doing in that sense. And
Yeah, I
help
mean,
other
I
people.
sold my condo this summer.
oh
in
my
Sweden.
God, you did?
Yeah, I did.
Wow.
So now,
So do you have any other properties there?
yeah, I have another condo.
You have another condo. So you only sold one of them.
Yeah.
You had two. Now you have one.
Now I have
Okay.
one. Now I have one. But
Good
it's
for you.
Yeah, it's nice because I used to rent it out or both of them out, but now I only have one. So
Great.
it's only one tenant and all that.
Were you able to find the house before it went on the market from like the listing?
No, it's an interesting story. So this house, I love the history of this house. Built in 1952, but really it only starts getting interesting in the last few years because
Same with me.
Oh,
Okay.
really? Oh.
Not 51, but only
yes, yeah,
only the last years are interesting.
Yeah,
Continue.
only once you hit your 30s. I mean,
Seriously.
She only has 4 months left, and she's turning 30.
oh my God, you're still in your
Our
20s?
little
Yes!
baby.
I'm turning
Such
9.
a baby.
I know.
You're 29.
Turning 30.
Wow.
She's 27 when you met her. Isn't
You-
that crazy?
You
I'm a
don't
little
strike me
kid.
as someone in your 20s because you have it all.
She's
I
an
look
old
so
soul.
old.
You're an old
She
soul.
has so much gray pubic hair. You're like, 20? She puts a Santa hat on and it looks like it's old Saint Nick's between her legs. I'm just kidding.
And
This
for
is-
reference, Steve has never seen it.
Yeah.
Sure about that?
You can do these jokes because you're gay.
Because you're
Is
gay,
that-
that's why. Otherwise,
Yeah.
no, you could probably pull them off anyway.
It's like the Seinfeld where the guy goes Jewish to do Jewish jokes.
He converted for the joke.
Yeah. So let me just pull this up really quick. Side note: I found this on my driveway today, and just in light of the conversation,
Oh my
Let me
god.
see. Let me see.
I
It's
don't
a
know whose this is. I'm gonna turn the brightness up.
okay for people.
Is that a
who's
language?
Not watching. Oh, you found anal ease.
Anal ease. I don't know.
We'll put it up on the screen.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll put that.
Anal
And
ease.
some music.
It's and some music. Yeah.
Anal
Anyway,
ease.
somebody was getting it on out of my driveway.
Is it a douche?
No, it's like a cream that you put in your rectum, I guess. Anal ease.
It's like a lubricant.
A lubricant. Yeah, I think.
If someone
Interesting.
put that
Cherry.
outside my door, I would be. I don't know. Should I take it as a sign of something?
Well, okay, so
You can say you're bilingual after you take that.
And also, like, that is probably what the guy with the coffee should take, not the coffee
I
in
have
his
to
ass.
agree with that.
It's
Seriously,
true.
though.
It's-
Like,
it's-
there is other things, people, that you can have thrown up your ass that will make you shit, and it
Yes.
doesn't have to be coffee.
What is it?
I don't know, something else.
Yeah.
Tea?
I'm not sure
There are
what.
medicines or something.
Yeah, but some kind of laxative,
Yeah.
like not coffee.
Mm-hmm.
Especially like it's messed up, but he wouldn't tell me when he would use it. He would just put it back into the pot, and then like people.
No,
I'm just kidding.
stop
I'm
it.
just kidding. Brian wakes up. Oh, it's just coffee things different.
This is great. Yeah.
Oh God. Okay, so
So yeah. So okay.
butt
when
jokes.
the house was sold to us by and I should explain. Okay, sorry. Let me go back. So the house, I bought it from a woman who used it as an Airbnb. It was an Airbnb party house,
Makes sense.
Party house.
it
and now it's
full
your
on.
party house.
and now it's our party house.
Woo.
So it was crypto themed. So each room, that's what you saw in the pictures. Each room is a different crypto like coin theme.
That is
There's
so fun.
It's so ridiculous. There's a Dogecoin room, there's a Ethereum room, there's a
NFT room.
NFT room with, Bored Ape, and there's a Twitter room. Now, this is part of why it made it an opportunity as a purchase, because there's a lot of cosmetic weirdness about the home. The paint job, the fireplace is purple, the wallpaper's crazy, scared off a lot of buyers. But, I came in and saw it and thought, this is easy. I can fix this.
Yeah.
And so we changed it. And I'm in the process. In addition to that, you mentioned, being able to afford a house in LA. Like anybody who has a house in LA,
You're rich.
you're rich,
Yeah.
right? For me, the other thing, again, I use as a reference point for a lot of my clients is that I bought the home with my mom. So my mom, well, not with my mom, but she lives in the guest house. It has a guest house. So yeah, she was like in my mom and sister and I were all living in apartments, all paying rent. And one night we had dinner and we're like, I wish we could buy a home. And suddenly, lightning bolt, we can. So we figured out a way to do it. And we found a house that has like 3 separate dwelling areas that are fairly private. My mom is in the guest house and so forth. And yeah, it's multi-generational living, I guess, which
That's so nice. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
You're such a nice son. By
yeah,
the way, that's my mom's fantasy, and she's actually
Yeah.
pushed this a few times. Like, why don't we all just buy a house? And I'm
I was
just like,
just about
I
to
got
say
2
that.
words for you, Sharon. Section 8.
No, but I feel like, that's like an Italian family thing
Yes.
to do.
If
Like, to
my
move
family was
together.
willing to move to Los Angeles, I would buy a house with them, because
Yeah.
the big thing is like she wants to buy a house in Massachusetts, where I don't want to live there.
Yeah, no. That makes sense. But also, like, I haven't double checked on the numbers, but I know what I pay for this. And I'm not going to say exactly what I pay, but I know that the penthouses here
Yeah.
is up towards 10 a month.
Yes.
Jeez.
So if you can pay that for an apartment, then you can definitely pay it
Oh, yeah.
on a house.
Yeah,
monthly.
for sure. I mean, yeah, those people are likely going to buy.
But congratulations to buying a
you,
house.
yeah.
That's huge.
has it completely
great.
changed your experience of being in LA? Just having that sense of
100%.
home?
100%. Yeah.
You
I
can
mean,
relax at the end of the day. Not just going
Yes.
back to this like stress box.
yeah,
apartment.
yeah. I mean, I've lived in an apartment for my entire adult life, and I loved all my experiences in apartments. But I will say, like, moving into a house, it's kind of a I have a little taste of the other side,
Yeah.
and I don't want to ever go back.
No.
Love apartments, like nothing against them, nothing against renting. It's, can be a great lifestyle choice, but yeah, that's my experience. I love it.
Different people need different things, and
Yeah.
I know I love that sense of home. You can like disconnect from everything else,
Yeah.
and that can really help you further along in other ways when you have the.
Yeah, and I also feel like it depends a little bit where you are in life. Like for me, if I could buy this apartment, I actually would, because I really like this, this
Totally.
the complex. But I obviously want to live in a house. But I also feel like I don't want to live in a house by myself. So like,
Yeah,
and you know,
yeah.
if it's
Yeah.
like move in with a family, you know,
Mhm.
that's nice. Or
Yeah.
if you move to a house when you're in a relationship,
Yeah.
that would be something. But for me, by myself, I'm good in an apartment
100%
until the next
Yes.
step, or I have
I
someone
agree.
to like live with.
Yeah.
Because I don't think it's the best to buy with a friend.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because friendships, you know how it is. Like, oh, we're the
Oh,
best
yeah.
of friends,
It's
and then
messy.
you live together, and then
Yeah.
you hate each other.
Yeah, you definitely shouldn't buy a house with a friend.
No.
Unless it's like an investment.
Yeah, in an Airbnb thing.
project.
Yeah.
Even that, if it's long term, you want to be careful. You know who you're
Oh, yeah,
getting
you
into
never
bed
know.
with. Yeah, but if you're living on your own, I completely 100% agree. It's I mean, unless you're rich. Like if I have a friend who bought a house in the hills, and it's like, wow, okay. I guess if you have that kind of money, then it makes sense.
Yeah.
But I was just thinking that today, sitting in my house, kind of wondering what it would be like if it was just my house. And I don't think I would enjoy it as much.
It's true. It's a house isn't a home. It's the people that are in it with you.
Yes.
When I used to have my Airbnb house, it was a 4-bedroom Craftsman in Hollywood, and a lot of times when there weren't guests, it was just me in the house. And maybe I'm a pussy, but it kind of gets like spooky sometimes. where
Oh,
you're
Oh
like,
yeah,
Yeah.
There could be
100%.
there could be someone
Yeah.
living in the house, and guess what? Manifestation's real, because at one point there were people secretly squatting in the house, and that is the
No
shit
way.
of nightmares come true. That is the shit of nightmares when you're like
Oh.
upstairs and like, oh, there's actually people that have been squatting downstairs.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
That is insane though.
Hit 'em
But
with the cleaning fee.
yeah,
Yeah.
I have another friend. They have the most gorgeous house. It's on, is it Laurel Canyon? You know, like the beautiful view.
Yes.
Beautiful view, very, you know, fancy, expensive, all that. But at night,
Yeah.
when like it's only like 2 people hanging out, you know, it's so scary. It's insanely scary. I would not stay there by myself. And like you said, I also thought like someone can definitely be downstairs in the gym area or whatever. I would not know
Yeah.
if they're there.
Yeah.
It's horrible.
Yeah. It's kind of, it's
So I
spooky
think-
for sure.
When I'm married, I'll move into a
Yes.
house.
Yes.
But until then, I'll keep staying here because
Yeah.
we have security that I can call.
The other, I know. I love that about big apartment complexes, the security. But the other thing I was going to say is when you buy a house with someone, it's like going into a business with someone, honestly. And I didn't think, like, I bought a home with my mom and sister, and you know, I didn't think we'd really be able to make it work, to be honest. I had little hope that like we could actually pull it off, and beyond that, day to day, I thought we'd like
Kill each other.
Yeah, exactly. I thought there'd be murder in the house, and thankfully, you know,
Not yet.
knock on wood, like we've been there for 6 months or something, and it's been great. I think the house is conducive to us, you know, all being there, but it is like something you are going into business
Yeah.
with a person, so it's got to be family or I
But-
don't know, really close.
From a practical standpoint, you don't have to say exact numbers, but are you paying more or less than you did when
Definitely more.
you paying
Definitely more. Way more.
But you have an asset now.
more? Yeah. But I'm
You have
just
an
like,
asset.
yeah, I was just thinking about like the monthly cost because I have no clue.
Oh, definitely. It's definitely more. However,
But you're splitting it 3 ways.
we're splitting it 3 ways, so that helps with the mortgage.
Yeah.
And the cool thing is that like we can also be pretty what's the word, like elastic or flexible about how we manage the monthly payments. For example, my sister is going back to college right now at full time as a student. So I was like, all right, I'm incentivized to, you know, build equity in the home as an investment. So let me pay more and you pay a lot less right now because I can afford it and it's to my financial benefit and it's to her benefit. So it's like cool how with a home you can sort of make those adjustments that you'd never be able to as a renter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, for
So,
sure.
but
I mean,
it's definitely more money. Yeah. I mean, it's expensive to buy. It's going into a savings account. It's like going into a piggy bank.
yeah.
But, you know, and that's the beauty of buying as opposed to renting. Renting, you know, every month you're throwing
You're
money in the fire.
Throwing it away.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, I'm from Sweden, as we all know. So
Yes.
so many times I've said this, but I'm from Sweden, and there it's very common that you just buy. We never rent.
Yeah.
And leasing a car, just buy it. That's
Yeah,
what we do too.
interesting.
So I'm not used to this leasing, renting, not owning anything mentality. So
Right.
it's very new to me. Like this is actually like the first apartment that I are renting for real. The other ones have been, obviously I've paid for a room here and there, but I've been very like scarce with my money. But now it's more like, okay, I'm really going for it, and I'm actually paying an LA rent, which is horrible.
Yeah.
But it's also like something I'm going to do now for a year, and we'll see where it takes me, basically.
Well, also, this is a beautiful apartment. You can't see the view.
Yeah, of course. But you know, it also sucks because you know that the money is gone at the end of the month.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I see what you're saying. There are advantages. There are pros and cons to both. I see what you're saying, but it's also like, I hope you just enjoy it while you have it.
Well,
I'm enjoying it.
All the maintenance is taken care of.
All
if
the
there's something that
maintenance.
breaks in your house, they gotta.
It's like you're in a little hotel, or something.
It really
but
feels
you have
like
a
that
kitchen.
sometimes.
It really feels like a luxury resort.
But the
Yes,
weird part is
yes.
that I felt, because when I was out looking for a place to rent,
Mm-hmm.
I saw that a lot of the prices, like everything is pretty high. You can't really get a deal
Mhm.
anymore. Like you can get a room in LA for like 1,500. It's
Mhm.
around there. And then you can get a shitty room for 1,200. You
Yes.
know what I mean? But you can't
Yes.
really do like, oh, $500 for a room
Yeah.
because it's so cheap. And then because I was very certain that I wanted to live by myself. I've had roommates now for 3 years, 3.5, and I'm done. You know, I'm
Yeah.
like, I need my own
Yeah.
space.
Yeah.
So when I was looking at studio apartments or like apartments in general, the bar is pretty high.
Oh my god.
Like the
It's
bar,
nuts.
it's around $3,000, and then it can go down if it's like maybe no security, no pool, no parking, no, like when you start
Yeah.
gambling with those things, then you can go down to like 2,500 maybe.
Yeah.
And like if you really pushing it to like around 2,000, but then so I felt like everything is expensive, and
Oh my
when you
God, yes.
try to press the price down as
Mhm.
much as possible, you're not
Mhm.
going to be satisfied anyway.
Mhm.
But it's insane how expensive it is.
Yeah. Yeah. LA,
1,500 for a room and almost 3,000 for
I
a
feel like it's still a
studio?
good time to invest in real estate in Los Angeles, especially
Always good
because
to invest.
think about it,
Yeah,
like
yeah, yeah,
a lot of
yeah.
people buying in the valley right now are like, what the hell? Like this is so much more than it was 5 years ago. But think
Right.
about 5 years from now, 10 years from now, I think
Yeah.
the whole valley is going to be expensive.
Oh yeah.
The entire
Yeah.
thing is going to be very expensive within
Right.
our lifetime.
But isn't
Yeah.
it funny because everyone always says it was so much better before. It was always
Yes.
cheaper before. Everyone says
Yes.
that. So think about, like you said, in like 10, 20 years, we're going to be like, oh, 2023 was so cheap. You could buy a
Yeah.
house for $3 million.
Yeah.
People would be laughing.
Especially with the
Yes.
pandemic pricing, I think people are very much like, is this going to tank? Should I wait? Is it
Yes.
leveling out? And this is just the new normal.
The pandemic threw everyone off. It was in real estate, like I've heard them called the unicorn years because they were so exceptional and, a complete anomaly from.
But do you think that Airbnb has kind of thrown it off too? Because it feels like a lot of people are like buying houses to use them as Airbnbs. So, and then they get the money and then they buy
Yes.
another house, and then we're standing here and like, I want a home. And they're
Yeah.
like, no, you can rent it on Airbnb.
And that's happening at heightened levels now. You're seeing massive investment banks in New York City that are buying up homes by the dozens and hundreds across the country as to use as rentals, if not short term, long term, whatever. But it's still I love the housing market because there are always things throwing it off. That's where ingenuity comes from.
It's like stocks.
New
Just
ideas.
keep
Yeah.
holding on.
Yes.
to it.
And
Like
also,
socks. Oh, stocks.
Socks, not socks.
Socks. Socks.
It's like socks.
Yeah.
Hold on
It's
to them.
I always say the stock market is just like a pair of socks. Also, with the pandemic, I feel like the way people are choosing to live, like lifestyle wise, you're seeing more families living together, and there's a shift now culturally because people are like, what the hell, why are we all flushing our money away? Like my two brothers and my mom, they all rent within 5 miles of each other. So that's crazy.
That was my sister and my mom and I as of 6 months ago, and we had that same revelation of like, look, we all relatively like each other. Like, why don't we just buy a house? We knew, and what I would say, if anybody out there is like, thinking, oh, that would work for me, what really helped for us was privacy, like having our own privacy in our own part of the house. So there's a common area, but also our own set. Like, find the house that works for you and your dynamic.
Yeah. So you can like bring someone home and your mom is like in the same
exactly.
house.
Your mom,
but it's not.
Your mom has her separate guest house. My mom, we don't have the. I'm not gonna say we don't have the money to do it, but she views us as like her little kids still. So it's like she'd be like, let's just get a 2-bedroom and put like 2 twin beds in it. It's like it sounds like twisted. Like she just got a cottage last week up in Maine for my 2 brothers and her to go up there like to rent, but literally the cottage is like smaller than this studio apartment, and I try to explain to her this is too small. If we can't afford to get a bigger property, then we can't afford to vacation, because right now this is giving like Charlie and the Chocolate Factory's like grandparents all in one bed. This is giving buckets in one bed.
Yes.
Yeah, that's a little bit too small though. It's a little bit too intimate. And also if you lived like that, if you lived with your parents, I think it would be like a lot of questions about who's that? Who's that girl? Yeah. Who's that guy? Yeah. Who's that? Mom, it's just a friend. I would feel like a teenager.
Like, what time are you coming home? Are you having dinner? Or is it just come and go as you want?
It's the latter, but that's by design. Like before we made this decision, my sister said, the only way I'm doing this is if you agree to do family therapy with me.
No way.
We haven't done it yet. We haven't done the therapy yet. Thankfully, we haven't really needed to, but that was
getting the
my
house
sister.
Was the therapy.
Yeah, maybe that was.
But that was
do like talk a lot. We're very communicative, and like if I think we're respectful to a certain extent. Like we don't. My mom doesn't go.
She's not crossing the boundaries.
Yeah.
So you have your privacy.
Yeah.
Have you brought anyone over? Like a girl? Are you dating?
Oh wow, we're getting into it.
Oh yeah, now I'm
housing and
it.
That's the thing.
Housing. It's like Howard Stern. Yes, I have. I'm not dating anyone. It is a fair question, because that is something that, of course, you think about with living with family.
Yeah.
That's honestly the first thing.
Because it feels
the
like
very first thing.
It just feels like, you want to come over and just hang out at my house.
Yes.
That bar is getting like higher to invite someone if your mom is going to be there.
100%. It helps that she has a guest house, and I will be completely honest, radical honesty, and say like it's still a little bit of thing for me of wondering the dynamic and if it will affect me in my dating life or whatever. Like I've tested it and it's gone fine, but I'm still a little anxious about it.
I get it, because it's also in the back of your mind, kind of. That like where you're living, there's
but also because everyone needs to introduce the right one for the family, but when you're in like the early stages, maybe you're not like I've only met this girl for 2 times, and then she's like started to fight with your sister and your mom or something like that. It would be like whew.
The thing for me is I just made the decision that this was a life choice that made a lot of sense for me, and everything would work out, you know, and fall into place thereafter. And I don't think if I could go back, like the what do I say? The awkwardness of a dating life in the context of living with your family is not a deal breaker. you can make it work.
Yeah.
And I know, I've like any woman that I'm bringing home, if she's uncomfortable, okay, that's fine. Then, don't come over. It's like, it's
but also,
just not
and it
a
also
thing.
feels like the right girl wouldn't be like, what's this? I think she would be like,
yeah,
I totally
Exactly.
get it.
When you have a serious girlfriend that turns into a wife, it's not going to be a situation where like they're doing the walk of shame, or like it's going to be just a more
Exactly.
normal
Yeah, no.
type of household. And also in the
Yes.
South, there isn't a difference between family and dating anyways.
Kinda.
that they all mingle.
It's
Yes.
that farm to bed lifestyle.
Oh my God, no. We're in
Oh.
LA. Oh, that's true. But everyone's dating everyone here.
We all
Are you-
also have our own like entry and exit. That
Okay,
helps,
so
too.
your mom will never see.
Yeah, I mean, in theory, yeah, like,
She would never know.
right,
How would she know?
yeah.
But I mean, do you feel like is that some? But maybe you date outside the home though.
I do.
Are you on the apps?
Yeah.
Which one?
I'm not Hinge.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's the one I have too.
it's not great. I
No.
don't. I'm not a fan, and yet I'm like,
You're still
I
there.
feel masochistic or
Do you
something.
feel like
yeah.
the girls are more quality in the valley versus the other side, or it doesn't matter? Or
It's a good question. I
But I
don't
mean-
think they're different.
they're different.
Definitely.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
In what
yeah.
way?
I think people in the valley are a little bit more. There's a double-edged sword, pros and cons, of course, to both.
Yeah.
People are less judgy in the valley, more grounded, and more, I would say, like familial, and a little like more down to earth.
Yeah.
But they're also not as ambitious and driven and like, here to conquer the world, here in LA to, do their thing, as they are over on this side of the hill in the, in the basin or whatever in LA, not in the valley. Everyone's a little more driven, but they're also a little more judgy and kind of maybe, I don't want to say superficial, but
Materialistic.
material is like status. Status has more weight over here,
Yeah, no, I get it.
which can be exhausting. But again, I don't think either is better or worse. I just think they're different.
And also, like, it depends on what kind of match you are, right? It's always like that in dating. It's like,
Yes.
it's not about, like, if you're right or wrong. It's like, are you the right person for me? Or,
Yes.
and if you're not, you're the right person for someone else.
That's my problem, though, is I want someone who is driven and down to earth. So maybe I should go like to the hill, like in the middle of the hill.
Or maybe, like, Idaho or something.
Idaho.
I feel like find a girl that's living in like Encino, Sherman Oaks, Woodland Hills.
Yeah.
That seems like quality where she's a little bit more grounded, established.
Oh, maybe, yeah.
Because it's like on this other side, you have more like transplants and people that are here today, gone tomorrow,
Yes.
tourists.
But
Crazy
that is
people, yeah.
actually true. Like, where's your house?
North Hollywood.
Got it. So I think that if someone says that they're in Hollywood, maybe not North Hollywood, but I would be like, no, instantly no. If someone lives in Hollywood, I'm like, no, this is not going to work out.
Yeah.
Because I can't. It's something about the mentality of living in Hollywood that I'm like, no, you and I
Wait,
don't
if somebody says
think,
North Hollywood, you say no?
I don't even know.
She says north.
I
no.
barely know where North is. North Hollywood.
Well,
What is
it's in
that?
the
Is
valley.
it?
It's as
It's
soon as
next
you
to
cross
Studio
over
City.
Studio City. and then-
Burbank.
Oh,
Studio
got it.
City.
You know-
No, I love that
Yeah.
area though. But Hollywood,
Somebody says Hollywood.
If
you're
someone,
like,
yeah, if someone
if
says
a
like,
guy is from Hollywood,
yeah,
you're saying.
or
Okay.
from, but if he lives there and
Yeah.
he likes it, I'm like, no.
Okay, why
instantly
is
no.
that?
It's something about like I don't like the area, and it feels like people who lives in Hollywood goes out a lot. I think a lot
Yeah.
of girls think that at least. If you say like, yeah, I live right at Sunset and her, whatever streets there are.
Yeah, yeah.
I'd be like, or like Sunset and Fairfax. So like,
Yeah.
ooh, that's not nice. Like,
Yeah.
why haven't you moved?
Yeah.
Like, did
They're-
you just move here?
They're just
Like-
not interested in settling yet. You can tell that they want to
it's
live a
just
party
a
lifestyle.
yeah, it's certain
yeah.
type of. It's like, oh, you're a promoter, or like, what's your deal?
Well, so
Do you ever think about that where girls are like located?
for sure, yeah. Like if you're in Brentwood,
Yeah,
you're either come from money or you're a lawyer.
yeah,
Or if you're in Hollywood, there's that old saying that if you turn the world on its side, I can't remember who said this. I think T.S. Eliot. If you turn the world on its side and shook it, all the loose pieces would fall off, and that would be L.A. would fall into L.A. Something like that. I'm butchering the quote, but there's a lot of crazy people here.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Just by nature of this city, and I think a lot of them end up in Hollywood.
Oh yeah, for some reason it's something about
in
Hollywood.
That neighborhood in particular. Yeah,
I don't know what it is.
The per capita is higher of crazy.
It really is.
Yeah, and so I definitely think like.
Thank you to all our listeners that are from Hollywood and lives in Hollywood. No, but I don't know.
I liked it for a while. I was into the crazy and the weird of it.
But it's gotten too crazy.
I don't know. It was something about like when I first moved to LA, I moved to Hollywood to that Jessica Apartments. Where we all been there,
Room
done
one,
that.
Or apartment 101 or 201, I guess.
Yeah, 201 for me. And
I thought it was 106.
106.
Oh, is it? Oh, so it was 206. But the thing is, it was like a homeless person screaming every night.
Oh,
and, everyone's fighting and everyone's drunk and everyone's crazy. And it was just not my thing.
Yeah.
And I also think that for me, because I always date older guys, it feels like, okay, let's say you're 10 years older than I am, then I expect you to be 10 years better than I am.
Yeah.
So if I'm here right now, I want you to be as I am, but 10 years better, like where I am in 10 years.
Yes.
So if a guy that is 10 years older than I am says that he lives in Hollywood, I'll be like, no. If I was like 21 and he was like 22, I'd be like, okay, I get it that you live in Hollywood, that your life hasn't started yet. But now when we're starting to date, in our 30s and 40s and, it's more pressure. I saw this.
Interesting.
I saw this quote on TikTok because I'm addicted to TikTok.
Yeah.
Every night, unfortunately. But they said that when you start dating in your 30s, that's when you start dating with intention. You stop dating just randomly, like, oh, I don't know, let's go, let's see. When you're in your 30s, you're like, this is what I want, this is what I'm looking for, this is me. Let's see if we're a match.
Do you feel like if you were living in a different place, you'd already have a wife or a more committed relationship? Do you think something about LA just makes it a little bit more challenging?
1,000%.
Yes, 100%. Yes,
because you've dated girls in LA where it's like they get sucked into the Hollywood world, and you really have to have a sense of your identity, or it can.
But how do you feel like the gay scene in LA? Is it the same, or is it like?
It's just, to me, it's just quantity over quality is what you get here, where you get a lot of gay guys, but a lot of them aren't serious about committing. They're not serious about dating.
What kind of age range are you in?
I'm 34. I would date 28 to 36. That's pretty vanilla, I guess. Like, I want someone who, if they're younger, we're celebrating their 30th birthday like pretty soon. Like, I don't want to be the guy that's like dating a 24-year-old, 25-year-old, and then I also don't want anyone in their 40s yet, because then I feel like I'm getting old. Like, I want someone that's around my age.
I mean, I don't care about societal norms, but I just thought about it because you're a guy dating a guy, you don't really know the age. Like, you can go down and up. I only can go up.
More ways than one. Yeah.
I would never actually date someone that's younger than I am. I don't know what it is, and maybe like I can eat my words. And
I've dated an older woman.
How old?
Like I want to say 8. No, like 8 years older than me. When I was 26, I think 27.
Ooh.
She was like 35.
What is your age range now, though? Would you date a 45-year-old?
That's a good question. I mean,
but you also feel like the guy who's like, if she's the right one.
Yeah. If she's the right, yeah.
But I mean, you prefer though.
You gotta. I think I would prefer. I think the thing I'm looking at is, do the goals align?
Yeah.
I mean, I could see making it work with a. I don't know.
But what about kids? I feel like
I also thought about that.
That's an added stress for her.
Yes,
and
I'd have to have the built-in situation with a 45.
Well, think about it. Like, she has kids at 45. She's 63 at their high school graduation. You're pushing around that wheelchair. Well, the kids accepting his diploma.
Wheelchair at 60?
No, but no,
Excuse me?
I had friends whose like parents had them like pushing 50, and they showed up at the graduation. They're 70,
grandfather,
almost 70 years old.
Yeah, but actually, that is also another thing. That's like
Not age shaming.
This
I'm
is
just
so
saying.
unromantic to talk about, but it's really a thing. Like women and thinking about kids.
Yes. Yeah, of course.
Because it's really like, because when do you want to have kids? Like within 1 year, 2 year, 3 year, 5 year?
I haven't. Honestly, I feel like it's a luxury of the male species.
Yeah.
Are we a species? A male gender? I have not put an age on it or a.
But like if you
time.
found a girl today,
yeah,
when would you want to have kids?
I would be ready to have children like pretty soon.
Yeah.
Yeah,
okay.
if it worked, but I would also
because that makes your
5. So within 5 years.
Within 5
you're
years, because
planning
then
on
you can. I think like the oldest then you could date. I mean, obviously there's exceptions, but then it feels like okay, 32 maybe is the limit. And then if you have kids in like 2 years, she's 34, and maybe you want to have more than one kid, you know, because it's after 35, I think it goes down.
Wait, you can
still have kids, but it's way harder after 35.
Well, it starts declining like right after you have your menses, like your first, like biologically when your girl first gets her period, that's when she's most biologically primed to.
Yeah, we're supposed to have kids when we're like 15.
50?
15.
Oh.
When we get a period.
I mean, nowadays you have people having kids with in vitro and everything.
Yeah, it's insane.
But
a lot of the women I've gone on a few dates where they have frozen their eggs.
Yeah, that's
like big. In their late 30s. I think a lot of women in their late 30s freeze their eggs.
Yeah.
And that's not cheap either, is it?
I was just about to say that. I'm like, that's expensive.
And
I thought about it.
Women in LA, they usually just freeze their egg whites because it's just a little bit, it's a little bit bougier over here.
Ooh, yes. It's not too many carbs.
Protein. Yeah, but it you know, I think the dynamic, it is weird. Kids definitely plays a role. I mean, I ended my last relationship because, for two reasons. One, because she didn't want children, and the other because she got into OnlyFans, which I laugh.
Like, can we talk about that?
Yeah,
Like on the podcast? Are you
of course.
Okay with that?
Yes.
Because that's like a very specific situation.
So give the story of your relationship with her and like when it started changing and why she charges so much. Because I can't afford the 1990. I'm like, can we do a payment plan? No,
but I mean,
no. What I feel comfortable saying is she. I don't judge her at all for it. It just kind of the dynamic didn't quite work, and I was okay with it at first. But I think for me it was a lifestyle choice, and it kind of was kind of a manifestation of our goal, our values not aligning. You know, it wasn't, her values weren't like stronger, or my values weren't stronger. Whatever, it was just different.
It was just different values, yeah. Because I mean, I don't know what it is. I would never judge anyone that does OnlyFans.
Yeah.
But I just know that I could not do it myself.
I wouldn't date someone that does, and I know
I was just about to say that. Would you?
Nope. I won't date someone that does.
I've seen you on there.
Because you are the one doing it. You don't want.
I mean, I would have my fun with that type of person if that happened, not on camera. But I wouldn't date a person like that just because it just doesn't vibe with me. It's not my nature to want to do it. It just doesn't vibe with me. And I get that we live in a different time now where it's like, no, this is what people are just doing. And if that's your hustle, trust me, I wish I was built like that, where I'm like, I'm just going to do it because God knows I could use the money. And it seems like pretty straightforward money, but it just, I'm not built like that.
But if it was like an OnlyFans for like feet.
No, because I don't want to engage with audiences like that. It's
something about OnlyFans. Like, I know, I mean, my mom is not alive, but if she was, she would not agree on doing OnlyFans. And it's something about, even if she's not here, I'm like, I can kind of hear her saying like, don't you dare.
It's because
and I don't. It's not like I feel like an urge to do it, but she was very like strict.
I just think if it's bad for your soul or you feel like it has discord with your soul, then don't do it because it's not worth it.
Yeah, I don't even have bikini pictures on Instagram.
Your ex-girlfriend, when she started off doing it, like I view starting OnlyFans as like you're walking that path. It's not like I do OnlyFans. Like you're starting that path because you might just start off like I just do feet, and then the money gets presented to you,
and then thighs.
You start hanging out with other OnlyFans models. It's like just do it. Like I made this much money doing this. Like okay, I'll go topless now. Just do it. It's not a big deal. And like you get that peer pressure.
I don't know. Yeah, that's very true. I don't know that was the case for her. I will say, I think to some extent, like it was liberating for her. It's not like I say, I don't have like a harsh a judgment of it. I look at it as a lifestyle choice for someone that either you just own and might be right for you in that moment, in that point in your life, or not. I don't know.
But now, when you've tried to be okay with it, would you ever date someone that has it OnlyFans now?
100% no. I will say, I would never. I wouldn't date a woman who does OnlyFans because, just the values. The values aren't aligned there, and there's so many of them in LA.
Yeah,
a lot of like influencers. Oh my goodness, there's a whole community. I mean, there are real estate agents who target the influencer demographic, and that's like half their business. It's just crazy, that whole side of LA.
But I mean, and we all like fall into it because I feel almost pressured that I needed to update my Instagram, so I'm doing that right now with like new pictures and it's really like promoting a business, even though it's only me and I don't have an OnlyFans, so like don't try to subscribe to anything. But it's just so weird because I don't even know who I'm posting it for. But I'm just like, okay, I need this many pictures of
on
like
social?
Yeah, on my social media, just to be like, this is me, this is my lifestyle.
It's great though. Your socials are great. I mean, it's like it's just this vibrant, you give off this kind of vibrant LA lifestyle, and that's fun to see.
Yeah, I mean, maybe. Well, I don't know.
It's social currency too, in terms of when
you're
meeting other guys.
It is.
Oh, 100%.
It really is.
Well, and meeting other guys, also career. I mean, I never did it before real estate, but now I'm pretty active on social media. Try to be, and it can. If I could go back like 10 years, that's one thing I'd try to change, is to be more active earlier on in my life.
Because I saw on TikTok yesterday, TikTok again.
Yeah.
So I saw on TikTok that someone said, guys, look at your socials to determine like, I don't remember how many factors it was, but the one that stuck with me is that, obviously if you look good and stuff like that, and who you are as a person, but it was also if they can afford your lifestyle. And I thought that was very interesting, right? Because have you ever thought about that? Looking at someone's Instagram, can I afford this lifestyle that this person is showing off? Have you ever thought that?
100%. Yeah, or it's because I don't know. There is a satisfaction I derive from like paying for stuff. I don't know if that's a fetish for women.
Yeah.
For a woman. I like taking a woman out. There's a satisfaction in that. And I can see like, I don't know. I can see seeing someone's socials and be like, oh, I can't afford going to those restaurants, Yeah.
Yeah.
But at the same point, it's also kind of, I don't know. Like that's social media is aspirational.
Yeah.
If nothing else, it's all aspirational. It's people at their most aspirational. So you're seeing what they aspire to as opposed to what they really are.
Yeah. Like you will never see me on this couch in like a messy bun, sweatpants, and like chocolate. all over my face. Like, I'm not gonna post that.
But I feel like even
Yeah.
people that do take those photos, it's just as like manufactured in a way of
It
trying
really
to come
is,
off
though, yes.
casual.
Yes.
Because like if you're taking a
Yes.
photo, it's not casual because you've decided to take a photo of that
Because
moment of you on the couch with
you're
chocolate on your
100% right. And now I just realized that I have like an ick for people who try to make fun of social media, because so many people has already done it. You know, like
Yes.
it's almost like they do the opposite just
Yeah.
to do the opposite
Yeah.
instead of just like, but come on, just stop it. Just make one good picture.
Or people that like turn on their Instagram and make a reel or TikTok of them like crying about like my boyfriend just did this to me and like I'm going through so much pain, and it's like the text is like purging my trauma with some like music. It's
yeah.
like,
Yeah, no, it's
you-
also cringe.
there's something about it that's cringy, and it's oversharing in a way. But I think you're like me. You found not, in the sense that with having a framework of real estate to create your content around, it's given you inspiration to make way more
Yes.
content, and it's almost like you have all these ideas for things because you have a focal point now.
That is true.
Totally. It's so helpful to
I
have a
love
focal
your
point.
last reel
Thank
With the
one
you.
with the
pool.
suit.
with the pool. Yeah. Suit and
Yeah,
pool.
I'm
Did that ruin
going.
the suit? I was like, oh my.
I'm gonna
God.
find out tomorrow. I'm
Is-
going
is
to
there
get my
chlor-
suit
is there
from the
chlorine in the
dry
pool?
cleaner. There's chlorine. Yeah.
We'll
it's-
see.
Everyone needs to go check out that reel
Yeah.
on your Instagram. What's your Instagram?
yes, _@ Tyler Neale, TYLERNEALE.
Yeah, you have to check out his reel. It's so fun.
It's a lot of fun to create content when you do have like a focus, and that just not only makes the content better but also makes it more enjoyable. The experience of like interacting with people on there, engaging and creating the content and stuff.
Are you
So,
getting a lot of leads from the videos?
yes, I've gotten a few from social media. I'm trying to think if I've like actually gotten business. Yeah, I've gotten like one or two. Sold a house, at least one house from Instagram.
That's
And it's
that's
yeah.
amazing.
And this is just, it feels like this is just the beginning.
Yeah, I
The more you do it, the more it's
Totally.
gonna, the more interaction.
That's the thing. It is so time consuming. It really is. I mean, I've tried to hack it this way and that to try to expedite and like streamline the process, but it is.
It's the modern day
it's a ton
equivalent of
stuff.
like taking out an ad in a newspaper or doing flyers in people's mailboxes. It's marketing. It
Yeah.
has to be
Yeah.
seen like that. My little brother is
Yes,
getting into real
yes.
estate, and I said, "Are you prepared to make content? Because this is what it takes now. Are you prepared to make a video that says, 'Don't move to Tampa,' but then you click on it and it says, 'This is why Tampa is a great place.'" That's my biggest pet peeve. Have
Yeah.
you seen those videos like, "Don't move to Jacksonville," then you click on it. I've lived in Jacksonville for 15 years. It's a great place. Like, stop clickbaiting, just please.
Yeah.
But I guess it works because that's what people search all the time.
Interesting. I'll have to try that.
Like I
10
always,
reasons not LA.
you should
sucks.
try.
Yeah, a lot of those. Yeah.
Yeah.
Just
On YouTube.
People that are debating moving a place, they want to see what could potentially deter them from moving there. So they click on the
Yes.
negatives more so. They're like,
Oh,
I don't
yeah.
want to face this.
Yeah. That's it. Yeah, that's really, I've never thought about that. That's like as a way to drive traffic.
My
It's
mom,
unfortunate.
my
but-
mom's always considering moving to Florida, so she's always watching those videos. Here's the 10 reasons not to move to St. Pete. It's like,
Like,
What?
just don't do it.
and then by the end, like, hey guys, I'm a real estate agent. If you want to reach out to move to St. Pete, it's like, you just
Oh,
told me that there's
God.
murderers and everything. Like,
God.
So, yeah, Florida's, I don't think I'd want to live there. Maybe South Florida.
I mean, I'll go there on vacation.
Yeah.
I'm good.
I've been to Miami and I've heard it's crazy living there though. I've heard.
it really is much different from here, and it feels.
Oh yeah, where are you from in Florida?
I'm not from Florida. I'm from Massachusetts.
Oh right.
But
Didn't you live in Florida?
No, last time I was here, I left and went to Miami. Remember?
Oh okay. So
And
yeah.
I,
Did you stay there for a while?
Oh yeah,
month?
you were in some beautiful house.
yeah, I was in Miami with my friend, and then my mom at the same time was living in Naples.
That's
So
right.
like the whole
That's
time I was
right.
there, maybe like a month and a half total. It was nice, but it's much different from here, and there's a sense of uncomfortability you get when you go to the towns that aren't as touristy or nice. Like I was in West Palm Beach a few weeks ago, and West Palm Beach is great, but you just go a few miles inland and it gets very, very, very sketchy. It almost like you go back into the 90s and everything's run down and you have people just like wandering around being sketchy. Like on levels of sketchiness you don't even see here unless you go like way out of the way. But you can go,
wow.
You can be in West Palm and drive 10 minutes like inland and you're like, whoa, this is really sketch.
Really?
Yeah.
How do you set up your dates?
So
on the apps.
On the apps.
How long are you messaging before meeting?
Great question. I used to message a lot more.
Yeah.
When I first started.
But now you
after
can't be
my
bothered.
last relationship, I messaged a lot, like get the repartee going and everything. Now I don't because I can't be bothered, and it's just too much. If you're like, let's just meet and see if it works and be done with it.
Yeah.
You know, if it does,
but
great.
Do you have anything that you're like check before, or could it be like whoever?
I do.
Okay, what is
there's one thing in particular.
Yeah.
If there is not a like inkling of sense of humor somewhere in their profile, I'm out. I mean, they can be the hottest like pictures and blah blah blah, but if it's just all, you know,
super serious.
I love to take nature walks and I'm looking for my partner in crime, and nothing against these types of things, but like
generic bitches.
Yeah, generic basic bitch.
Yeah. Seriously.
I just scroll down and I look for a joke, and if I find a joke, I'm like, done.
If you have written, I'm looking for my partner in crime, all your photos better be mugshots because like
otherwise
you better mean serious crimes,
like,
otherwise
it's not a good one. But I have an ick when guy says the best way of asking me out is just to ask me out.
Oh, wait a second.
I hate that one.
I see that a lot too.
Yeah, please don't
I didn't
have that
know.
No, guys do it all the time. All the time.
They're wow.
That's like all it is. Guys with fishes and ask me out.
Fishes?
Yeah, they stand like this with
dead fish they just caught.
Yeah, that they just caught a fish, and then they're like topless, and then they have sunglasses and a little cap, and they have a fish.
I like
fish.
that.
No, why?
I don't hate that, but
no, but like his
You're
name
looking
is
for
Brian.
a good fisherman?
Not our Brian, but like that's a Brian. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I guess I get what you're saying. One of my biggest, I actually did a video about my biggest dating profile turnoffs, and one of them is all group photos. If every single picture is
so you don't know who it is.
You don't even know. You literally don't know who that is.
Yeah.
Other ones that I've seen that are just like shocking is like one of their photos is their driver's license. Like it's just like insane to
like
me.
you can drive.
It's
Where
like
was that in LA?
I've seen people that don't have any like they're probably like, I don't have any photos of myself really, and it's like literally just a photo of their license with like the information scratched up, like here's a photo of me.
But to be fair though, because do you know how hard it is to look good in the driver license photo? So if I had a good one, I would flex it.
I got a good one the last time I did, and I was like, I don't
humble
ever
brag.
Want to. I was happy with it because. Like usually, like you don't know how it's going to turn out, and this is something that's attached to you, and you can feel very like, oh, I hate this thing.
So I don't know. I would flex my driver's license if I had a good one.
It
is if it's like that looks good.
Right, because nobody does. Driver's license photos are usually awful.
Yeah.
Maybe I should start.
Maybe you should like rethink that one, because if they can look good in a driver's license photo, wait until you see them in person.
Yeah,
that's true. I guess I need to get over the sketchiness of having a driver's license photo on a dating app. Yeah, my other one that really just turns me away is excessive emoji use, where like it's like
when they say like interests, and then it's
interests, and it's like 30 in a row. It's like what is this? Like what is
They're
this?
like, I'm a riddle me out.
Exactly. It's like deciphering a riddle. That to me is
no, but you're right. When they're like,
you
my
see that
interest.
With guys are using the
they're like my interest, and then it's like a tree, a bike, a fireplace, a beer, and I'm like, I need to like, it's a rebus or it's like a riddle.
Yeah.
I don't like that either.
No.
What else do you have?
The other thing, and this is maybe this is a controversial one. This is more recently. If you're putting your vax status in your profile, I really don't like that for some reason, because it makes me just think of COVID when I read that.
Yeah, I
so
think
it's like
we
when
can
you're
do
saying,
away with that.
Like you see it with gay guys, it's like COVID vax ×2, monkeypox ×2. It's like, I don't want to think about diseases when we're like just starting to interact.
Yeah.
And that's what it makes me think of it. You're immediately telling me all the vaccinations you have, and it's just not needed.
No.
But
no.
it's almost like a badge of honor. Monkeypox ×3, Team Pfizer. It's like,
I
this is
mean,
weird.
It's interesting because I had a phone call with a guy that I haven't been on a date with, but we had this phone call, to see if we vibe, if we should go on a date.
Yeah.
Because
I've done that.
Yeah, because I think that is actually a good thing to do, to call or FaceTime before
Yes.
the date, because
I
otherwise it can be like a waste of an hour at least.
Totally agree.
So do that before.
Yeah.
But I mean, during that conversation, he said that he would never date a girl with a bad credit score. And I'm like, so that's his like little check mark. And I'm like, how do you get that? Like, how do you get girls to like, my credit score is, I mean, he sent me his.
He wasn't joking?
No, he sent me his credit score.
He sent you
It's
his
true. I saw it.
Yeah.
on like a text. He like,
Yeah, you print screen
oh
it.
my, okay.
And then a bank
What?
statement.
Is this the Axe guy?
No.
Have you talked about Axe guy on here?
No. No,
Yeah.
not yet.
He the guy
Can you
that's
tell that story?
Well, maybe not. I'll have to
Okay.
think about it.
Yeah.
So not this episode, but
Not
maybe
this
one day.
episode.
But
Okay.
now it
Tease
feels
it.
a little bit too fresh.
I
Yeah.
feel like sending your credit score is like the new modern day like dick pic. It's like, I got so drunk last night, I sent this girl my FICO. Oh my God.
Oh damn it! No, but I mean, it's good. I mean, he has a point. And then when he sent his bank statement, I was like,
You're loving
What
it.
was
wow.
the credit score?
It's like 830.
830.
I'm at 8.
I mean,
Let's get off on an 830.
I think it was between, without saying any numbers, between 750 and 850.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean, so
on
it's
the high
good.
end.
It's okay.
Okay.
But what if he was like, I'm at 700. I filed Chapter 11 and I'm rebuilding.
I mean, I don't care, but it was he who put it in my mind that you have to have someone with a good credit score.
I mean,
just
a good credit score, yeah.
But I guess it's also, again, we're dating in our 30s ish, and
Yeah.
it's just now they really don't have time to fuck around anymore.
Yes.
They're like, here's my credit score, here's my bank statement, like here's my vaccination status,
Yes.
here's my
Yes.
here's everything,
It's
here's my family history of deceases, like
Lay it all on the
here I am.
table.
Yeah, just like here's what you get if you pick me.
It's also a flex because he knows that that's going
It's a good
to
one.
impress certain girls and that's going to like get the ball rolling for him. I
Yeah.
feel like with older men, not that this guy was that old, but like, girls that'll go for like 50s, 60s or even older.
Yeah,
To me,
that-
like being a male also, I just feel like I understand their mind, how it's working, and I'm just turned off by the charade of it all where it's like, I'm a 7-year-old man, but I got a great credit score. It's like you also have a wrinkly ball bag like dragging on
Yeah.
the carpet. So
yeah.
that beats it out for me.
But I mean,
Yeah.
a lot of relationships in LA is very transactional. So, okay, you set up a date. How does it work? You message not too long. You
you
want
go
to
on,
meet
you
up.
go on hikes. Like,
Not
where do you
too
take
long. I
them?
don't like a hike. No,
No.
I'm not a hike person. I mean, I
Me
like
neither.
to go on a hike myself. I would say, but it doesn't feel like a good date.
It's
No.
really
especially,
not.
especially if you do running the whole time.
That
Like
is
go up
like,
those stairs.
Runyon, the
but that's
stairs.
but that's like an ick for girls. At least,
Yeah.
at least me and like my friends. If a guy would be like, yeah, let's go for a hike. I'm like, for first date?
Yeah.
Are you insane,
Yeah.
sir? Don't you want to like
No.
get to know me and not
Right.
just like see me all sweaty and annoyed?
Right. Right. So no, my first date is just coffee because I don't drink anymore. So
That's good.
it's coffee. Yeah. Yeah. And I'll even go for a drink, but then it's weird because I'm not drinking and they're drinking.
Yeah, no, it's usually
So I just do coffee.
you don't do
Yeah.
dinner.
Not for the first one.
No, you want to get to know them more.
Here's my maybe I'm cynical, but I've had enough bad dates for my first that I've realized it's not like it's just time and money. And I don't know, not to sound cheap, but I just feel like a coffee is a good kind of low stakes first.
But that actually happened to me.
Hmm.
It wasn't a date situation. It was just a girl that wanted to be my friend.
Oh, okay.
And I felt so used after that because she was like, yeah, let's check out Soho House because she knew I was a member, right?
Right.
So I was like, okay, this Holloway House.
Okay.
It's this new in West Hollywood.
Okay.
So we went there. We had like drinks and like some fries that we shared. And when he came with a check, she did not reach for her credit card, to split it.
Yeah.
And I'm like, it's the first time that happened to me, because obviously we're both girls. This is not a date, like we're here.
Yeah.
We're hanging out, and she just didn't go for her credit card at all. She just sat there. And I was like,
that is a flex.
I'm like,
that's weird.
Okay. So I just ended up, I think I was just so confused. So I just like paid, because I didn't want to be like in front of the waiter, be like, hey, can you like shove your credit card up here?
Yeah.
Or, it was.
What did she say when you paid? Did she say thanks or something?
No, she didn't say anything.
Oh.
Why did she ask you on a date?
She didn't ask me on a date.
You just like, we're like, let's go out.
No, she was like, I don't know. She was Scandinavian. So, it was like oh, nice that you're here. Oh, nice. Yeah, let's hang out. And then it's like, yeah, maybe we can do this. And I'm like, yeah, sure. And then I just ended up paying for her drinks, and the food and my valet parking. So I'm like, okay, I feel used. And then I thought about you guys, and I was like, I wonder if this is how guys feel after a weird date.
Well,
do you feel used?
That's a good question. I went on like 4 dates once with this lawyer who I kept taking her out, and each time she would say, I'm going to take you out next time, and she'd like tell me this amazing, because she was pretty wealthy, I guess. She had, she's a lawyer. Yeah. And she kept saying like, we're going to go to a Michelin star restaurant. And every time when I paid.
Yeah.
And then it got to the 4th date, and I think even then she said, next time we'll blah, blah, blah. And anyway, I forget what happened, but we had never went on a 5th date, and she never
But do you think
paid.
That's messed up?
That is weird. But if she never said, next time I'll take you out, do you think you would have been annoyed then? Or do you think it was just because she brought it up, so you kind of got it in your mind that, oh, she is going to pay, or she is going to take me out?
No, I think I'm kind of like, this feels a little archaic, but
go for it.
I always pay, and it just feels like I want to be able to do that. So I don't know. It feels it's like a Don Draper syndrome. I want to provide or something. There's something psychological, culturally, that's been fed to us over.
Well, I'm a woman, and I like that.
Well, So I like, if I'm not in a position to do that, then I start to feel a little weird. Although I will say, like, I also think it's nice when a woman, offers, or treats now and then. But
and also it feels like if you were out on like 6 dinner dates, and then she like took a lunch here and there.
Yeah.
So maybe she doesn't. Yeah. Maybe she doesn't take like the big catch.
But
steak.
she kept on hyping it up too, like, well, next time.
Well,
and
I'll
keep you on the hook.
You
might not even like to be like, God damn it, I want that free dinner. Might as well go on one more date, but it never happened.
No, that's what I was doing. Exactly. It was such a flex on her part, because she was saying like, it was almost like she was shitting on where I was.
Where you were taking her.
Like, I took her to Sugarfish, which is not like insanely expensive, but it's
but
it's
nice.
Decent. It's nice. It's a good date.
Yeah, you didn't take her to In-N-Out.
Right, exactly. And then she's like, "Oh, I'm gonna take you when I treat. We're going to Michelin star, this or that French restaurant."
It's almost like a little dig. Even
it's like, a little bit of a dig.
I'm gonna do better than this and pay for it, but it's like, you're not doing either of those things.
I'd be like, fuck you. What the fuck?
She's like, I'm gonna go to. You said you're gonna take me to Michelin star. You got me Michelin tires. So I mean, still $400, but I'm hungry.
I always forget that it's a tire company.
I know, that's what I always thought. I was like, why is a tire company rating restaurants?
I know. It's always so confusing.
Well, it's because it all started as a ad campaign for travel. It was like, use you, and that's what the whole star system is.
Really?
If you have 1 star, it's worth going if you're in the air, like if you live there. If you have 2 stars, it's worth a day trip. If you have 3 stars, it's worth traveling like
Oh
Probably from
wow,
Northern.
I
There's
didn't know
some,
that.
yeah.
Is it
metric
this?
to
It's the same Michelin that does tires, does the
Yes.
stars.
the
The
white,
Michelin Man.
which is, by the way, there's this comic, I can't remember his name, sorry to the comic, but it has a great joke about the Michelin Man, because he's how racist it is that he's like made of tires, but he's still all white.
That is true.
Yeah,
He's
but
white and
anyways,
fat.
That guy.
White and fat.
Let's wrap it up. You want to take us out, Amanda?
No.
Okay, I will. Tyler, you already mentioned it, but you want to give your Instagram and
Yes.
Tickety Talk
At-
one more time?
@_Tyler Neale, and that's across socials. TylerNeale.com. I have a new website.
Ooh,
Is that
and you
check
also
that?
have your newsletters that you should
Yes.
subscribe to because I am.
Sign on. You can subscribe. That's right. You
I'm
can
selling you in.
subscribe. Thank you. I'll give you some
Yeah, it's a
referral commission.
No, I don't need it. But he is the best, though, guys. If you want to
Thank
sell,
you.
buy, or even thinking about any of those, he's your
Oh my
guy.
God,
I promise.
you're amazing. Thanks for the hype.
Thank you so much for coming on our podcast. We
My
love you.
pleasure, dudes.
Guys, this has been 3 People on a Couch.
3 people.
Catch you next time.
Trace.
Bye.
Amigos.
We got comfortable with that in the pandemic when there was a reason to not actually see people face to face, that we might see dating relationships becoming way more textual and never in person, which is sad.
We're seeing this slow creep where this is becoming like a way of life for the general populace where it's like, well, why don't you just talk on Zoom all the time and get married on Zoom? Raise your kids on Zoom. When they get in trouble, you yell, go to your Zoom.
How do you get kids over Zoom?